Weston, thank you for joining us. How are you, mate?
Doing well, man. Just trying to stay busy.
That's the way. Look, before we crack into the interview, I'm going to get you to pronounce your own DJ name. Look, I've been calling you Hartshorn for a while. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, you have been calling me a Hartshorn for a good minute, and just about every other international person. I don't know why they pronounce it like that, but it just kind of seems to always be the case. The funny part is that I actually had my logo phonetically shaped, so it was a little bit easier to kind of pronounce off the top of your head, but still slips through the cracks.
No, I reckon you should stick with Hartshorn. You sound like a really badass sheep that way. Now look, you're the founding father of the 303 family, an American hardcore collective which started out of Denver, Colorado. Look, tell me about where the group came from, what's happened up until now, and your plans for the future.
So the 303 family started about 10 years ago, and that was through my best friends. And the idea of it was, here in Denver, back then we didn't have a scene, so the only way that we could listen to hardcore is if we threw our own shows. Fast forward till now, it's still that main production company that lets us have hardcore shows, but grown to include other artists and other people trying to, again, get their sound out there. We helped expand to 5 different chapters. Each of them have about 5 to 6 different producers and DJs. And the whole idea is to use all the resources that I've gained over the years and allow everyone to just hit the ground much faster and harder. And in the end, really just to make the country a little bit more in union. Rather than us trying to fight each other for shows, it's best for us to work together. And that's really kind of the whole movement that I've tried to help grow. I've seen it help with, other states are finally kind of getting the idea of doing their own thing, and again, it's not so much of a competition. We're trying to help each other, and with that, it'll really just make the American scene a little bit better.
Well, that's it. A scene only thrives when everyone works together as opposed to against each other. So tell me about you, when you first heard the sounds of happy hardcore, and what inspired you to start DJing and more recently producing.
So 14 years ago, I was introduced to a Cali local named Molly Mush. So really, really cheesy stuff, and ever since then, it's just kind of hooked me. The idea of DJing actually didn't come from her. My friends got into DJing, and I wanted something to join in with. So watching them, learning from them, and it just hooked onto me. And it just started to grow and grow and grow. Really, it was about 8 years of just DJing before I finally really decided that I need to produce and get stuff out there. It was, again, something that I didn't really have in the front of my mind, and it's still pretty new.
So staying with production, you're a Fruity Loops enthusiast. To be honest, I don't know anyone other than you and Outforce that uses Fruity Loops. Tell me why you like it. Try to convince everyone else.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy FL. That's just because I'm pretty green. All my mentors use it. Every time I've watched Outforce, Doughboy, Jason, it's just much more of a kinetic learning for me. I've worked with a few other people on different DAWs. I can't say it's any different. Of course, Prospect loves Ableton, and I've seen why he does, and maybe down the road when I get a little bit more comfortable, I can hop into something else. But as of right now, it's very rudimentary, and it makes it easy for me, and I can't complain about it.
Well, look, at the end of the day, whatever works for you. What has been your favourite track that you've made so far, and tell us a bit about it.
My favorite track, it definitely has to be Desires with Outforce. We spent about a good 4 days holed up in his studio. And personally, I just had a lot of fun. It was the first time I actually got to spend a long time with him. Crystal and I went out there for my tour, and again, we just kind of got to lounge out and in combination be able to hammer out a track that I was very excited for, and nonetheless was able to present to Breeze and get signed to Future World was a massive accomplishment that I'm still very happy about.
Yeah, that's huge. All right, I'm going to ask real talk. 160 or 170?
160 or 170. I don't care. The reason why I say that is because I jump around genres so much. So an example would be Party Starter. It's 160. That's not going to bother me because I'm just going to speed it up to what I'm playing. Now, I play at 175, and that's every time. I do a couple back-to-backs with Pepperjack and Waffle, and they like to put it up to 180. Kind of bugs me, but every time, if you check my BPM, it's going to be 175. And the same goes for production-wise. I do make it at 170. I just speed it up when I play it.
I had to ask. It's always funny to see how upset and triggered some people can get. Look, you've been playing all across the US and more recently in gigs in the UK and HTID Magaluf. What's been your favourite gig so far and why?
Touring has been good. I enjoy it a lot. And you mentioned Magaluf. That has actually probably got to be the most nerve-wracking gig I've had. When WizKid poked his head around and walked on stage, I'm almost certain I train wrecked. It was a bit overwhelming. Since then, it's pretty hard to put a stamp on my favorite gig. I can definitely say the funnest experience was the Clubland Weekender. Just being around so many idols and friends and performing for them, and actually I messed up on a mix. It got stuck on an emergency loop, and I pulled it out. So that's another one that really sticks in me, and I really enjoyed that one.
It really sticks in you, huh? Fair enough. Look, you're also quite the event promoter, bringing people across the pond from both Australia and the UK and from across America. What's been one of your event highlights so far?
I enjoy bringing outside acts that most of it seems just like America just hasn't put their eyes on. The original thought was you have all this A-list coming through, and no doubt, they're great. But there's so many other people doing such great things. Is why can't we bring them through? So it kind of began my knack of bringing yourself. Kevin Energy hasn't been here for a while, for example. But really, back in the beginning, you can actually see right behind me. Spyro was blowing up, but again, no one really knows them. Just really kind of just friends and music that I support, and I enjoyed bringing them through. A highlight has honestly been my last show, which was Heartbeat Bump. That was our 10th anniversary, and we sold that show out. So for being someone fairly new to this, I was very proud and very happy to actually bring a few acts, sell out, and everyone have just a banging time. But I will say the worst part is that we kind of set the bar a little bit too high, and now that's probably slightly going to haunt me.
The Heartbeat Bump was a sick party, and I'm grateful that I was a part of it. Moving on, our feature track of the month is your latest production. So without spoiling it, I'll let you introduce the next song that we're about to listen to.
So the next tune that you made a fun video for is actually Welcome to Your Fantasy by Scott Brown. Jason Baus and I did a fun little collab, and more to that, I was extremely excited for them to put it on Evolution 200. Again, huge moment for me. I've, of course, seen that label for years, and personally never thought I would ever see my name connected to one.
Close your eyes and let me take you on a journey to a place far, far away. Open your mind. This is the place you've dreamed about. This is your fantasy. Welcome to your fantasy. Welcome to your fantasy.
That was sick, mate. I really enjoyed that track. What's the plans for it? Is it out already? When's it going to be released?
Appreciate that. It is actually already released. It came out with his 5 volumes. You can check it out on SoundCloud, again, Beatport. It's actually doing really well. It's still charting in the top 50, so I'm pretty excited about that.
All right, sweet. I'm sure someone's chucked the download and purchase links in the comments below. Look, when are we going to see you down under? I hope very soon.
I really hope to come down. Besides the facts that I told you to keep away everything that's poisonous and dangerous for me, I would absolutely love to make it down there.
Don't worry, mate. I'll protect you. Thank you so much, Mr. Hartshorn, for your time.
Cheers, man.